pre-flight in the Cherokee to go pick up Charlie in Minneapolis. He just drove my car out there, so should be a good day for IFR flying.
Alright, check. Alright, avionics is on, amps and volts look good, we got 14. Transponder, we'll set VFR for now. We'll get the weather.
And Noble F. Lee Memorial Airport, automated weather observation. 1740 Zulu, weather, wind 140 at 6, visibility 10, ceiling 900, broken 1200, overcast, temperature 12 Celsius, dew point 10, altimeter 3013.
Attention all aircraft, taxiway Alpha parallel to 18 north of the FBO is closed. Expect to back taxi when landing runway 36 or departing runway 18. Closure is effective June 9th through June 18th.
Alright, winds are 140 at 6, we'll take off at runway 18, it's 900 broken. Talked about that. Transponder set weather, we got instruments, we got airspeed 0, we'll set 4,000 in this, that's what I'll expect for now. Headings match, go ahead and go ARV. To K STC. Looks good. That's all set. Landing light, I'll hit on in just a second. Brakes feel good. Autopilot, engage, disconnect, engage, disconnect. Electric trim. Looks good. Alright, we'll do the run up short of the runway. Alright, brakes are set. Flight controls are free and correct. Mixture is rich, throttle to 2000. Right mag, good drop, back to both. Left mag, good drop, back to both. Carburetor heat, good drop, off it recovered. Amps and volts look good, engine instruments are all in the green, oil temps coming up. Throttle to idle. At idle as well, maybe just a little low. Primer's in and locked. Alright, departure briefing, it's low. We should be able to shoot an approach back into here if we have any issues, but if it's an engine failure, we're pretty much diving and driving until we break out of the clouds, see what we can do. Takeoff runway is 18, 5150 feet. We need about 1,000 feet today, even less, probably 800 with just me in here. I'll call out 60 and then 60 rotate, climb at 85. If we're not airborne by the third taxi, we will abort. Engine failure, fire loss of control on the runway, power to idle, brake supply. We'll turn everything off and cut the mixture. During the climb, if we're below the clouds, we're just going to pick our best option. If we're above them, we'll hold wings level, sort of smooth descent towards the landing area. Nothing to add there. Trim's set for takeoff, flaps are set, mixture's rich. lights are on, fuel pump comes on, the door's latched, call for clearance.
Minneapolis flight down.
Hey Minneapolis, this is November 55129er. We're on the ground at Arbor Vita, ready to go, runway 18, clearance to St. Cloud.
Alright. Give me a minute, I'll get your clearance.
Thank you.
Alright, sir, got your clearance when you're ready.
Ready to copy.
Ready, TC Cruise November 55129er from the Arbor Vita Airport to the St. Cloud Airport via direct. Climb maintain 4000, squawk 4555. Contact Minneapolis Center 133.65 on departure. And clearance void if not off in 10 minutes.
Alright, 55129 is cleared to St. Cloud via direct, 4,000 feet, 4555 in the box, 133.65 on departure, and we're void in 10 minutes.
Read back correct, have a good one.
Thanks, you too. Lakeland Traffic Cherokee 55129 are departing runway 18, be a right turn out to the west, Lakeland. Alright, we're clear on the right, clear on the left, here we go. Alright, gauges are all green, airspeed's alive. There's 60. There's 85. Alright, I'll select indicated airspeed, nav mode. There's 400 feet, we can start the turn. Lakeland Traffic Cherokee 55129 are departing the area to the west, Eagle River, or Lakeland. Alright, bases are 2,300. We'll go direct. Minneapolis, good morning Cherokee, good afternoon Cherokee 55129 is off Arbor Vita 2,700, climb at 4,000, direct St. Cloud.
Number 55129er, Minneapolis Center, radar contact on my left there, but airport, the Price County altimeter 3011.
3011 on the meter for 55129er.
November 55129. This will be heading into an area of poor frequency coverage in 4040 miles. You can change to my frequency on 126.45.
Alright, 55129er in 40 miles, we'll change to 2645. Alright, an hour 35 to St. Cloud. Pick up Charlie, and then we'll go do some practice approaches. We'll maybe go up a little bit and see if we can get on top of this stuff. It's pretty bright just sitting in the tops here, so we'll see what they are. Talk to you on the descent. Alright, we were cleared down to 4,000. We're starting our descent 22 minutes out from St. Cloud about.
447 now already maintained 280 knots in to publish.
They were calling for 800 overcast. We'll get the weather here in just a minute and see what they're showing.
Thank you.
St. Cloud information, Lima 1853 Zulu, wind 050 at 6 knots, visibility 10, statute miles, sky condition, ceiling, overcast at 900, temperature 2.12, altimeter 3008, ILS approach in use. Landing and departing runway 13, advise on initial contact, you have information, Lima.
We're doing the ILS runway 13 into St. Cloud. We'll brief it here. Our low frequency is going to be 111.9. That's set in nav 1. I'll even set it in nav 2. Alright, that's set both sides. Localize is 111.9. Final approach course is going to be 133 degrees, so we'll tune that later on. We got 7,000 feet of runway, and touchdown elevations 1,031 feet. I've read through the notes before the flight. We should have Malser approach lighting systems coming to the runway. We're going to get vectors outside of Osaka. That's at 2800 for the final approach fix. And get vectored onto that. After the final approach fix, we'll intercept the glide slope and fly down to the ILS minimums of 1231, which is 200 feet above the ground and a half-mile visibility. If we don't see the runway there, it'll be a climb to 2500, then a climbing left turn to 5000 direct to the STC VOR. And the radial 312 to Scion, which is 14.5 DME out and hold. That'll all be in the box.
Whiskey, Roger, fly heading.
I'll go procedure, select approach.
Heading 310,
ILS runway 13, and we'll just load it via Scion for now to keep all the fixes in. And the missed approach is all in there, it looks good. And for the taxi, it'll be a right turn off on probably Alpha 4, maybe Delta.
November Mike, clear direct
into the ramp.
For Chile, helicopter number 71, November Mike.
Alright, we're on 2105, which is their controlling area, so give them a call and ask for vectors for the ILS to runway 13 in the St. Cloud. Minneapolis, Cherokee 55129, I got the weather in St. Cloud and would like vectors for the ILS 13.
November 129er, Roger, fly heading of 280.
Heading 280, 129er. Alright, flying a heading of 280.
594, you're cleared to Scion to hold northwest as published. Maintain 4,000. Expect further clearance at 1930.
And hold northwest as published, Scion, and 1930 on the start for the climb.
Number 129er, climb maintain 6,000. Expect holding at Scion.
Climb maintain 6,000. Expect holding at Scion 129er. Well, that's interesting. We'll see what this is about. Climbing to 6,000. Alright, well they told us to expect holding at Scion, so we'll see what that's all about. If it's as published, it should be in our flight plan legs page. We got Scion and then the hold, so we'll just suspend the sequencing at Scion.
November 55129er, is this going to be a full stop, St. Cloud?
Yeah, just picking somebody up and then we'll be heading to Princeton for fuel and then back to Alpha Romeo Victor for 129er.
129er, Roger. November 55129er, I have holding at Scion when you're ready.
Go ahead for 129er.
129er, cleared to Scion to hold northwest published, maintain 6,000, expect further clearance 1950.
Alright, 55129er, hold at Scion at 6,000 as published, expect further clearance 1950. Having us hold, it's currently 1909. And they gave us expect further clearance at 1950, so that's 40 minutes from now, which kind of sucks. But I don't know what else to do. Alright, well, I'll catch you guys in the hold. Alright, we're back. We had, we were given holding instructions at Scion, which is the initial fix here for the ILS 13 into St. Cloud. They just deleted those and instead are giving us delay vectors, so I think they're getting traffic into there. It looked like we had 3 airplanes lined up. So thankfully we don't have to hold 40 minutes like we were assigned to. Just some delay vectors for now and they'll get us in behind the next airplane. Clear back down to 5,000. They had us up at 6 for that hold. They had one airplane at 4,000, another one at 5,000, and then us at 6,000. So that's all taken care of. We're coming down to 5,000 now. Alright, we're turning left to a heading of 210. Looks like they're starting to vector us in. These Garmin 275s are pretty sweet. We can set barrel minimums, so if we press and hold on that, go over to options, minimums, and it's also touchscreen. Barrel minimums, altitude.
55129er, you can expect a vector across the localizer for sequence.
Copy that, we'll expect to cross the localizer 129er. And a couple different ways you can type it in, either scrolling this knob, it'll change it by kind of a running digit. Otherwise, you can big knob between each digit and set the mins. But we hit enter, the mins are set. We go to back, and it'll call out minimums when we hit them. The other really cool thing about this, these 275s, well, you got an HSI map here. I can kind of see weather and stuff. I can change the distance on it. And see what kind of weather we got. Look at all of our fixes, see other traffic. There's the airplane that's going to have coming in front of us here, I believe. But the cool thing here is that we can go over to HSI. We'll shoot the approach in Loc 1, but then for Loc 2, I'm going to set the radio 312 off of the St. Cloud VOR.
680 Delta Charlie, cleared for the RNAV 13 St. Cloud.
All set.
Not quite yet, it'll be shortly. For now, just maintain 6,000.
I got 312 set, and then I'll go over to our nav.
129er to set maintain 4,000.
Set maintain 4,000, 129er.
Minneapolis, Science, Skyhawk 619.
Going down to 4,000.
At 1,800.
And I'll go over to our nav radio, and I'll set the St. Cloud VOR, which is 112.1.
Altimeter is 3008.
Maintain 5,000.
So now all we got to do is switch over to VOR 2
Contact about 2 miles
for our missed approach.
2,594.
Pretty cool. About to go back in the clouds. Left turn heading 100 to join the localizer road port established, 129er. Alright, heading 100 to join the localizer.
0 Delta Charlie, to maintain 5,500.
And we will report established.
0 Delta Charlie.
They're down to 4,000.
Fly heading 100.
Alright, I'll hand fly this approach for practice. We can take the flight director away. Going down to 4,000.
0 Delta Charlie, clear the RNAV runway 13 approach St. Cloud Airport.
Cleared for the RNAV to 13, 680 Delta Charlie.
Alright, there's 4,000 on the heading of 100. 55129 is established on the localizer.
129er, roger, just fly the approach course inbound. I'll have your clearance in 2 to 3 minutes.
Continuing 129er. Alright, so we're not cleared for the approach yet. We're going to maintain 4,000. I'm actually going to slow it down just a little bit. He's waiting for this airplane ahead of us to get in. I'll slow it down for him to make his life easier. And it'll be down to 2,800 at Osaka when we're cleared for the approach.
55129er, just set to maintain 3,000.
Set to maintain 3,000, 129er.
That's pilot's discretion as well.
Copy. Alright, going down to 3,000. We're on the localizer. Just need to lose some altitude here.
For Whiskey, just set at pilot's discretion to maintain 4,000.
Set pilot's discretion and maintain 4,000 CL for Whiskey.
Everything's looking good, just a little high.
3 Alpha Whiskey on your miss. You can expect 4,000 direct to Wilmer.
Alright, before landing, fuel selector's on the fullest tank. Landing light is on. Mixture, I just pushed rich. That looks good.
3 Alpha Whiskey, roger. Would you like
fuel pump I turned on. Seatbelts I got. Flaps are coming down. And autopilot is disconnected.
4,000 examined on miss. 55129er, you're a mile from Stanley. Cleared ILS runway 13 approach St. Cloud Airport.
Cleared ILS 13 into St. Cloud, 129er. Alright, now we're cleared approach.
Radar service terminal contact St. Cloud Tower 118.25, see ya.
1825, we'll see you, 129er. Alright, we're over to tower, we're cleared for the approach, we're cleared down to 2,800, that means for Osaka, and then we'll intercept the glide slope, fly that down to our ILS minimums of 1231. They're calling 1,000 overcast now, so it shouldn't even be much of an approach. St. Cloud Tower, Cherokee 55129er, ILS 13.
Cherokee 55129er, St. Cloud Tower, runway 13, clear to land.
Clear to land, runway 13, 55129er. Alright, coming down to 2,800 for Osaka. 200 to go. Go flaps 25. And once we hit 2,800, the glide slope's already alive since we were high. But we're just going to intercept that at 2,800. Alright, there's 2,800 leveling off. And we we are a half a mile from Osaka. Everything's looking good. Landing checklist is complete and we are cleared to land. Alright, the glide slope is captured. There's Osaka. We can leave 2,800 and we're flying down to our minimums of 1231. And for the missed approach, we'll set 5,000 in case we have to do that. That is set. Slightly high, correcting on localizer. On glide slope on localizer and about 1,200 feet to minimums. I got ground contact. And the runway's in sight. Bases are 2,100.
Thank you.
3 mile final runway 13.
Alright, we are cleared to land. I'll keep the speed up a little bit here so they don't have to wait for us. Alright, landing checklist is complete. We're clear to land. Alright, there's the last notch of flaps.
Minimums.
Continuing.
Cherokee 129er, turn right there, and you want to taxi back to runway 13?
We're actually going to stop at St. Cloud Aviation for 129er.
Cherokee 129er, roger, taxi to parking. I have you outbound, you're going to Princeton, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. And we'll start up and give you a call in just a bit. Taxi into St. Cloud Aviation, 129er.
Cherokee 129er, thank you.
Alright, welcome back, guys. Charlie and I are off to Princeton now. Charlie's working on his instrument rating, so this should be a good practice flight for him. Right, Charlie?
Right.
St. Cloud ground, Cherokee 55129er, via IFR to Princeton.
Cherokee 55129er, St. Cloud ground, you're cleared to Princeton Airport via direct. On departure, climb and maintain 4,000. Minneapolis Center frequency 121.05, squawk 4526.
So say cleared via direct. What's this one?
The direct, that's your direct.
Yeah, that's direct.
4,021.05, 4526.
Cherokee 55129er is cleared via direct. Departure maintain 4,000 and contact Minneapolis 121.05 and squawk 4526. Cherokee 55129er.
Cherokee 55129er, read back correct. Were you ready to taxi?
Ready to taxi.
Cherokee 129er, runway 13, taxi via Alpha 4 Alpha. And did you say you had November?
Alpha 4 Alpha, we do have November.
We do have November.
Alpha 4 Alpha to runway 13.
Alpha to runway 13. Cherokee 55129er.
And St. Cloud Tower, Cherokee 55129er, we'll be ready to go at the end.
Cherokee 55129er, on departure, proceed on course, runway 13, clear for takeoff.
13 clear for takeoff on course, 129er.
Runway 13, clear for takeoff on course 55129er.
Clear right, clear left.
Have you?
Alright, you're cleared on course, turn left.
55129er, contact Minneapolis Center, good day.
Contact Minneapolis Center, Cherokee 55129er. Have a good day. Now we say
Yes, turn on course.
Minneapolis Center, Cherokee 55129er is off of St. Cloud, 1,900, climbing 4,000, direct to Princeton.
Cherokee 55129er, Minneapolis Center, St. Cloud, altimeter 3007, your radar contact about 1 mile southeast St. Cloud Airport. Advising of the weather, Princeton, your approach request.
3007 on the altimeter, that position checks will advise. 55129er.
Nicely done. Nicely done, Chuck. That was good. Alright, I'll turn our AWAS. It's 1902.
Did you get the weather yet?
Yeah.
You want to tell them?
Yeah, I'm going to do it with our approach request. That's why I'm waiting for you to pull the plate up so you know what's up.
So procedure, approach. What are we doing?
RNAV 34.
GeoRef disabled.
Yeah, plate file. So you need to go to send to map. Oh, that's weird. I don't know why it's disabling it, but whatever.
Does it let it send a map?
Oh, because it's expired. You haven't updated these charts, but that's okay. Alright, you know how to brief an approach?
No.
Alright, I'll brief it to you. Here, I'm going to turn the autopilot on. Autopilot's engaged. Alright. Here's what you do. You start at the top. We're flying the RNAV GPS 34 into Princeton. Alright. Final approach course is 335 degrees. Landing distance available is 3,900. Touchdown zone elevation is 980. Alright. So, we got our weather. We're on Minneapolis on 2105. CTAP's 23.0. We'll tune that in our standby. Yeah, I'm just going down the chart.
Yep.
Alright. We're landing 3-4, so we're over here. We need to get to probably Cayenne is what we'll load it via, okay? We'll fly from Cayenne inbound at 3,100, right? And then we'll hit Zappin. At Zappin, we're still at, after Zappin, we can go down to 2,600 for Zaydog, right? And then Zaydog, we can fly down to our LNAV minimums of 1,500 feet, okay? If we don't see the runway at 1,500, we're going to do the missed approach, which is a climbing right turn to 3,100, direct to Zappin, and hold, all right? And minimum safe altitude in the air is 3,500. Questions? No? All right, hit procedure. Select approach, enter. RNAV 34. Enter. Via KN.
44, you're cleared
enter.
to descend via the Bainey 3 arrival, flight
And load for now. Enter. Enter.
Alright, descend via the Bainey 12 left transition.
Don't worry about that.
3644.
I'm going to tell them. Minneapolis, November 55129, has the weather in Princeton, requesting direct to KN for the RNAV runway 34 approach.
November 55129er, cleared direct to KN, and then direct to Zappin, and then direct Princeton, expect the RNAV 34.
Alright, clear direct to KN, then Zappin, then Princeton, expect the RNAV 34, 55129er.
So we go
Alright, so
to Zappin.
Yep, flight plan, hit flight plan. Cursor, big knob down, cursor, 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 push for cursor. Big knob down to KN. Big knob, there you go. Direct to.
Minneapolis
enter.
Skyhawk 615
enter.
Runway 34 inside Toronto.
Alright, it's going to turn us to KN.
Cancel the IFR flight plan.
Alright.
Yeah.
Skyhawk 615
Makes sense, now we can speed it back up.
Received, the squawk VFR,
Now that you know what you're doing.
So we're going KN to Zappin and then direct to Princeton?
Yeah, because he's basically just telling us that's what he wants us to fly for now. He'll clear us for the approach and then we fly what's published once we get closer, okay? Alright? Alright, hand fly it.
Now, when can we descend?
Not until we're cleared for the approach. We're assigned 4,000 right now. He's probably going to say something along the lines of this. November 55129, you're 1 mile from KN. Maintain 4,000 till established. Cleared RNAV 34 approach into Princeton.
What does till established mean?
Until you're on a published segment to the approach.
132.15.
Like past KN, essentially. Alright. Alright.
November 55129er, cross Kean at or above 3,100, cleared for the RNAV runway 34 at Princeton.
KN at or above 3,100, cleared RNAV 34 into Princeton.
KN at or above
3,100, cleared RNAV 34 into Princeton. Go.
KN at or above
3,100.
3,100.
Cleared RNAV 34 into Princeton.
Of 34 into Princeton. 55129er.
There you go. Alright, so now he said cross it at or above, so we can go down to 3,100 now. set 3,100. There you go, and start your descent.
Air Canada, 150
All right, we're flying inbound to Ziplin. Once we hit Ziplin, it's going to be another left turn inbound to the runway final approach, okay? And then you can go down to 2,600. Are you looking at your track too? I know it's hard to see, but you should peek your head down and look at it.
What do you mean my track?
Ground track.
Challenger 54,
This?
No, your ground track, the diamond.
Yeah.
Alright.
Over 55129er, this frequency does work on the ground there at Princeton, so change it over to advisories as approved, and then you can use this frequency either on the ground or in the air to cancel.
Awesome, we'll give you a call on the ground for the clearance over to advisory 129er. Alright, so it's going to give you a lead to your turn. It's going to tell you in X amount of seconds turn to this, and that kind of lets you know that it's coming up. Just wait for it, it'll show it. See? It'll be a left turn to 335 and 765, and then you just kind of follow that countdown and your course will change and turn inbound. Now. There you go, there's your course change, keep turning. Standard rate, nicely done. Alright, you can set 2,600, and start your descent down to that.
335, set 2,600.
Yep, and start your descent down to 2,600. See where we are on the approach now? Alright.
There's 335 right there.
Yeah, that's a track though, so it's not just, you can't just fly that heading. You have to still chase that course. Make sense?
Yeah.
Alright, so we're going on 2,600, everything's looking good. We got LNAV plus V, that means we got an advisory glide path that'll come in once we get down a little further here. Princeton traffic, Cherokee 55129ers on a 10-mile final, runway 34, Princeton. Coming up on Zodog, once we hit 2,600, your glide path will come in. You can follow that down, and we'll set our minimums, which are 1,500, okay? And path's coming in. You're holding 2,600 until you hit Zodog, which is in 1.5 miles. Alright, where we hit our fix, you can follow the glide path down. Let the nose down. Going under minimums of 1,500, reduce the power.
Do we say 1,000 the minimums?
I do. 1,000 to minimums. And then 500 to minimums at 2,000. And then I do every 100 feet. Princeton traffic, Cherokee 55129, or 3-mile final, runway 34, Princeton.
500 minimums.
Ground contact, continue. Keep your head inside. 400 to minimums.
There it is,
runway in
dude.
sight. You see how you're off course? To the left? Not bad though. Alright, then we do one quick refresh. Fuel pumps on, lights are on, mixtures rich, gears down, flaps.
Minimums.
So this is minimums right here.
On this approach, yep.